Hello and good evening. You are watching Newsplus this Friday. It's the last day of the working week. Here's to hoping it was quite productive for you. My name is Faith Nyawade. Here are the stories making the headlines tonight. President Mnangagwa is in Maputo, Mozambique, where he will superintend the signing of several memoranda of understanding aimed at deepening relations between the two countries. We will continue looking at diplomatic matters, with Zimbabwe and South Africa expected to convene their fourth binational commission in January 2026 in South Africa, with an eye on entrenching cooperation and mutually beneficial value addition. As the festive season beckons, authorities have stepped up with road safety drive, equipping key enforcement agencies with new tools, including patrol vehicles, speed trap cameras, and high-precision breathalyzers. And in sport, we look at the relegation metrics as the curtain comes down on the Kazalaga Premier Soccer League season. Our top story this evening, President Emmerson Mnangagwa is in Maputo, Mozambique, where he will superintend the signing of several memoranda of understanding aimed at deepening relations between the two countries. He arrived in Maputo at the Maputo International Airport. He arrived at the Maputo International Airport in the afternoon, where he was received by Mozambique's Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation Minister, Maria Manuel Lucas, Foreign Affairs and International Trade Minister, Professor Amon Moreira, Zimbabwe's ambassador to Mozambique, Dr. Victor Matimadanda, and Mozambique's ambassador to Zimbabwe, Cavallo Muara, among other dignitaries. Earlier today, a Zimbabwe-Mozambique Binational Commission ministerial meeting was held, and Professor Moreira said Harare's presence in Maputo for this inaugural commission signals renewed commitment to structured and forward-looking cooperation between our two nations. Minister Lucas said Zimbabwe's presence in Maputo is not merely a formality, but a reformation of the historic ties that unite the Zimbabwean and Mozambican people. We are now joined by our business correspondent, Ibn Mabunda, to help us look at the trade relations between Zimbabwe and Mozambique. Ibn, good evening to you.
Good evening. Bilateral trade between Zimbabwe and Mozambique has moved between 600 to 700 million between 2023 and 2024. Now let's take a deep dive into what these statistics actually mean. Starting, of course, with the 2024 stats, and as far as the exports are concerned, coming in at $500 million United States dollars, down up, of course, from 200 million United States dollars in 2020, moving right up to $306 million in 2023. And of course, now we're looking at the import side of things, where, of course, we're witnessing that 2024 $120 million worth of course, imports from Mozambique against a figure of 2023 of 306 million. But by and large, between 2023 and 2024, this is when we have seen the highest figures in as far as the trade between the two countries is concerned. And here are the main products that Zimbabwe is exporting to Mozambique: your fertilizer, your tobacco, your sugar, your minerals, and of course these indicating room for further growth from what Zimbabwe is offering to Mozambique. So the big question is, how do we look at increasing that degree of trade that exists between Zimbabwe and Mozambique? Now, Zimbabwe, of course, obtains from Mozambique fuel, cereals, electricity, the Kahora Bassa, oils, of course, being a part and parcel of the bouquet. So this engagement will look at further fortifying this bilateral trade and exploring new avenues of trade between Zimbabwe and Mozambique.
Ibn Mabunda, our business correspondent, thank you so much for that explanation. Now, before his departure to Mozambique, President Emmerson Mnangagwa today commissioned a Central Analytical Services Laboratory at Marondera Agricultural Sciences and Technology, a development that is set to drive the government's education model. Later on in the day, the president kept 121 graduates at the same facility, with 6 of the students being awarded with the Emmerson Mnangagwa Chancellor Award. Let's get the details.
The commissioning of the state-of-the-art Central Analytical Services Laboratory marks a milestone development at the institute, especially at a time the country is moving to fast-track smart agriculture in the face of climate change. The laboratory will provide essential agricultural services, which include soil sampling for fertilizer recommendations, analyze water samples, be it for irrigation or potable purposes, as well as analyzing for those in the mining sector and influence. The facility will be crucial for the province and beyond, addressing the current shortage of laboratories around the country. After commissioning the multi-purpose laboratory, President Mnangagwa went to keep 120 graduates at the learning facility.
The Marondera University of Agricultural Sciences and Technology duly constituted as the fourth graduation ceremony.
In his speech, Vice-Chancellor Professor Justice Nyamangara said the university was committed to support the government's vision for sustainable agriculture innovation in line with the National Development Strategy 1. He applauded the president for the financial support towards the construction of the Central Analytical Services Laboratory.
The theme of this fourth graduation ceremony is, I quote, leveraging Education 5.0 for sustainable agricultural commercialization and community transformation. As a university, we fully subscribe to your government's vision of transforming the country into an upper-middle income economy. Marondera University has fully embraced the heritage-based Education 5.0 philosophy and the NDS-1 in its endeavor to proffer sustainable agricultural innovations that will transform the economy of the nation at large. We are cognizant that the crafting of the NDS2 is underway, and as a university, we are participating and providing our expertise in the relevant cluster.
The Vice-Chancellor noted that as part of his curriculum, students were being taught about climate-smart agriculture, a model that emphasizes on the adaptation to changing climate by increasing productivity, enhancing resilience to climate shocks. The university also facilitated the expansion of an irrigation scheme in Marondera district, a move set to ensure the community's food secure.
The university has facilitated the expansion of Mchekaranwa Dam Outgrower Irrigation Scheme in Ward 21 in Marondera district from the 30 hectares which you officially commissioned, Your Excellency, to now 60 hectares. A 30-hectare fixed center pivot has been installed to benefit youth drawn from the 48 families displaced during construction of the Mchekaranwa Dam.
Speaking after the graduation, one of the Emmerson Mnangagwa Chancellor Award winners reiterated the university was determined to train students and ensure they have enough skills to absorb climate shocks.
Farmers fanira kuita smart agriculture so that they are not affected by factors such as climate change. So the smart agriculture that they should do is such as artificial insemination to introduce new breeds that are adaptable to in the face of climate change.
The university is also empowering farmers in the community and is in the process of nursing indigenous vegetables.
MUAST launched an African indigenous vegetables outgrower scheme by training 180 farmers in the 24-25 season who produced seed sufficient to cover 300 hectares of indigenous vegetables, mostly focusing on amaranth, moa, orobonongwe, and nyeve. The university is selling the seed through agro-dealers such as Pro Farmer Zimbabwe and FarmBiz. Building on this success, the university has engaged a further 250 farmers for the 25-26 season, bringing the total number of participating farmers to 430.
Agriculture is a vital role to play in steering the economy. Hence, the university faces a mammoth task to produce more students. Reporting for ZTN Prime, I am Mirira Nsingo.
Now, as we talk diplomatic relations, Zimbabwe and South Africa will convene their fourth binational commission in January 2026 in South Africa, with an eye on entrenching cooperation and mutually beneficial value addition. The decision to hold the upcoming BNC was reached during a meeting between Vice President Dr. Constantino Chiwenga and his South African counterpart, Deputy President Paul Mashatile, on the margins of the G20 summit. The BNC comes on the back of the last one held in Harare in 2019, where officials discussed the implementation of 45 bilateral agreements straddling sectors in trade, investment, migration, health, among others. Now, the forthcoming BNC is anticipated to pave the way for intensified collaboration, addressing critical economic sectors and fostering deeper ties between the two nations, particularly in value addition, as both countries seek to make the most from their resources.
We discussed our bilateral issues as two neighboring countries. The binational meeting, which is going to be starting with the ministerial Ministerial Committee of Ministers in January next year, will review a number of issues from the economic sector and all the enablers that will propel our economic cooperation, which is energy and the transportation and logistics system that we need to establish between our two countries.
Now, South Africa remains Zimbabwe's largest trading partner, constituting approximately 46% of Zimbabwe's total imports and around 30% of the country's total exports. Deputy President Mashatile thanked Zimbabwe for coming to support South Africa's G20 presidency by attending a summit.
Coming to support our G20 presidency by attending the summit. We've just completed our brief discussions on important issues between our two countries. We've agreed that we will have our binational commission early January, where we're going to look at various issues of the economy, particularly energy, how we can work together on issues of critical minerals. We'll also look at issues of migration policy, and other issues that we think are very important between our two countries. But South Africa appreciates the support we are receiving from Zimbabwe and the people of Zimbabwe, particularly with our leadership of SADC at the moment, dealing with the issues of Madagascar, the DRC, and Mozambique and other places. We're having a very strong support from the people of Zimbabwe, the leadership of Zimbabwe.
Now let's talk road safety. The government has stepped up its road safety drive, equipping key enforcement agencies with new tools, including patrol vehicles, speed trap cameras, and high-precision breathalyzers. Earlier today, the Minister of Transport officially commissioned the gear at the Vehicle Inspectorate Department in Eastleigh, Harare. The move is part of a broader strategy to strengthen roadside inspections and crack down on drunk driving ahead of the busy festive season.
Zimbabwe's road safety situation remains an area of concern. Recent statistics show that an average of 5 people die in road traffic accidents daily, accumulating to 153 deaths per month. To help curb this alarming trend, especially ahead of the festive season, authorities have come up with a raft of measures. Transport Minister Felix Mona this Friday handed over a fleet of operational vehicles to the Vehicle Inspectorate Department. These include over 40 small patrol vehicles and 10 tow trucks, all intended to boost highway patrols and remove abandoned vehicles that often pose hazards on the country's roads. These newly commissioned tools of trade are designed to strengthen VID operations and improve road safety overall.
In addition to the measures that I've outlined today, we formally commissioned a fleet of operational vehicles that I've alluded to earlier on, and the operational vehicles will enable our inspectors to be more agile, extending their reach into remote and underserved areas to conduct more spontaneous and effective roadside inspections.
A consignment of 100 evidence breathalyzers has been handed over to the Zimbabwe Republic Police by the Ministry of Transport and Infrastructural Development. Now, these evidence breathalyzers have key technology features like this camera that will ensure that there is efficiency and transparency.
ZTN camera operator Nyasha Chawatama volunteered to be the first test subject. He blows into the breathalyzer as still pictures and a video footage are captured. Upon completion, the machine reflects either green or red, and in Nyasha's case, it was green, indicating he had no alcohol in his system. The breathalyzers procured by the Traffic Safety Council of Zimbabwe are fitted with advanced technology that helps prevent tampering or manipulation of alcohol test results. The equipment will help the police clamp down on drivers who drive under the influence of alcohol, one of the leading causes of fatal crashes on Zimbabwe's roads. Also commissioned was a van of speed trap cameras, which will be used on major highways. This is also expected to curb speeding, another leading cause of fatal crashes.
I'm told if you try to amend certain things, that will have happened here. This machine is only trained to record everything you do. So it will record the amendments you are trying to make. So I think these are the machines, Honorable Minister.
Receiving the consignment, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Home Affairs, Ambassador Rafael Faranisi, has challenged police to utilize the high-tech equipment, imploring stakeholders to closely monitor their use for accountability purposes.
Please follow up on the Z-therapy, whether they are using the machines in the proper manner, because we also have to be accountable. These are public resources.
Transport Minister Mona reiterated that the government will continue to support and capacitate VID and other law enforcement agencies with the necessary tools to ensure that they execute their mandate effectively.
We can no longer rely solely on the keen eye and the skilled ear. We must empower our inspectors with the power of data, precision and cutting-edge technology.
As the festive season approaches, a period traditionally associated with increased road travel, authorities hope these new initiatives will help save lives and make Zimbabwe's roads safer for everyone. For ZTN Prime, I am Setachiswe Gwaza in Harare.
You are watching Newsplus. We'll be back shortly. Stay with us.
Welcome wherever you are. And Mamouche, room to shoot! He well and truly did! It's an opportunity, what a shot to Shado! Tarkowski! Scott's got to be careful, Bukayo Saka! But it's Salah, and that one delivers!
Never miss a play, home or away. Stream all Premier League games live on Showmax.
Welcome back. You are still watching Newsplus. Thank you so much for staying with us. The government is set to distribute 9,000 Starlink kits and roll out a nationwide school solarization program next week in a bid to expand digital learning and promote children's rights to education across the country. This was revealed on Thursday afternoon during the World Children's Day celebrations that were being held in Harare under the theme, My Day, My Rights, From Promises into Action.
World Children's Day, commemorated globally every year on 20 November, serves as a reminder of the urgent need to prioritize children's rights, from education and health to protection, safety and inclusion. The day calls on governments, communities, development partners to build a safer and equitable world for every child. For Child President Lelo Mazarire, the commemoration is a strong appeal to protecting the rights of children in Zimbabwe. He bemoaned the widening digital divide, particularly in rural schools, which has prevented many learners from fully benefiting from the Education 8.0 model. He stressed that without reliable internet, electricity and modern learning facilities, rural children remain at a disadvantage.
Our theme, My Day, My Rights, From Promises to Action, is not just a slogan, it is a cry from the hearts of the children who want to grow up safe, educated and also healthy, and also free. We are therefore respectfully asking that promises being made to us every day must be turned to realities.
To address these concerns, government says it has undertaken a number of initiatives and programs nationwide. Minister of Primary and Secondary Education, Honorable Toerai Moyo, revealed that government is distributing 9,000 Starlink kits to schools, on top of the 4,000 that have already been rolled out. The minister added that the government will also solarize these schools, most of which are in remote areas without electricity.
So the Minister of ICT, through the whole of government approach, approached me last week and said, how many Starlink kits do you need? Then I said 9,000. So we are going to receive those Starlink kits, then we distribute to rural areas. When we distribute those kits, it means we are also going to solarize the schools.
Stakeholders at the commemorations emphasized the urgent need for greater inclusion of children with disabilities in the education system. They called for safer school environments, more resources, accessible facilities that allow all children to learn with dignity and equal opportunities. Deputy Minister of Public Service, Labour and Social Welfare, Mercy Bina, reiterated government's commitment to protecting and advancing the rights of children with disabilities.
Disability inclusion is not charity. It is a human right. Every child, regardless of ability, must belong, must participate and thrive.
Minister of State for Provincial Affairs, Charles Tawenga, noted that this year's World Children's Day coincides with Social Protection Week, a campaign calling for stronger safety nets for children and other vulnerable groups. He also stressed the need to tackle drug abuse scourge that continues to destroy children's lives.
Drug and substance abuse threatens not only the well-being of individuals, but the very, very foundations of our development prospects, ending the vast potential embedded in our very rich youth dividend.
World Children's Day presents an opportunity for government, communities, and development partners to reflect on the challenges faced by children and to collaborate on strong, multi-sectoral solutions that ensure that every child's rights are fully respected, protected, and fulfilled. For ZTM Prime, I am Mashudu Mambo in Harare.
Now, in other news, the government has launched an intensified campaign against counterfeit products, labeling them a serious threat to the country's economy and public health. This happens as regional bodies are also crafting laws to protect East and Southern Africa from the scourge. Our correspondent Andile Chuma gives us more from the second day of the Consumer Protection Conference in Mlayo.
Every day, tons of goods, some counterfeit, are smuggled into Zimbabwe, from organized gangs to ordinary people backpacking. These goods find themselves in small shops, market stalls, car booths, and even on pavements. These citadels of informal and illicit trade are bustling, but at a cost. Authorities have described counterfeit goods as a serious threat to the economy and public health. Deputy Minister of Industry and Commerce, Raj Modi, said government will soon crack down on traders who sell fake products. Modi was representing Vice President Dr. Constantino Chiwenga at the Consumer Protection Conference in Bulawayo this morning.
The Consumer Protection Commission and the Zim Papers Group, operating under the insightful guidance of the Ministry of Industry and Commerce, for organizing this strategic and vital conference. It is through such powerful collaboration that we can make a real, lasting impact and finally put an end to these economic sabotages.
The crackdown comes as the Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa reports the region is increasingly targeted by counterfeit pharmaceuticals, posing a growing public health threat. The COMESA Competition Commission Director of Consumer Welfare and Advocacy, Stephen Kamukama, said efforts are underway to remove falsified medicines from Eastern and Southern African markets, with some already confiscated.
As the Commission, we are not sitting on the issues of counterfeits, and we have addressed a number of them as far as the medicines are concerned. As you may see, we had falsified, these are falsified medicines, Efgren, vitamin C, Ozempic, and then Hispetin. These medicines were in the market, but they were falsified.
He said the region is developing new regional laws to tighten regulations and protect consumers from illicit and counterfeit products.
Our regional law is inadequate. So we now amended our regional law to incorporate all those issues I have mentioned. And this November or early December, the Council of Ministers will be approving the amendment, and come next year, we shall have a new law, which again addresses the issues I've mentioned.
Officials say coordinated national and regional action is crucial to safeguard the economy, protect public health, and ensure consumers have access only to safe, genuine products. Duduzo Chuma, representing the Zimpapers Group, official media partners of the conference, said the institution remains committed to ensuring that consumers have access to information that helps them make informed choices.
Zimpapers is immensely proud to have partnered in this vital national initiative. We remain firmly committed to utilizing our various media platforms to amplify the resolutions and key takeaways, ensuring the consumer conversation strengthens market integrity and reaches every corner of our nation.
The government and regional authorities are sending a clear warning: fake products will no longer be tolerated and consumers must remain vigilant. For ZTN Prime, I'm Andile Chuma in Bulawayo.
Well, the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Lands, Agriculture, Fisheries, Water and Rural Development, Professor Obed Chiri, has commissioned a village business unit at the Jaros Jiri Agricultural Training Center in Douglasdale, Umguza. The project is expected to help the center become self-sustaining while empowering trainees with disabilities.
It's a new chapter for the Jaros Jiri Agricultural Training Center, a shift from welfare dependency to agricultural empowerment. Commissioning the village business unit, Permanent Secretary Professor Obed Chiri said the initiative aligns with government's drive to strengthen rural economies by creating productive business models within training institutions.
The rural development in action, where we are seeing the impactful programs by His Excellency, where we are saying no place and no person should be left behind. Certainly, the rural development must start from every village. And this village business unit that we see here at an institution is testament to the fact that if we start producing, we not only assist our institutions, but we also get access to be able to market and get income.
Business unit is already producing vegetables, small livestock, and other commodities used to feed the center, with surplus now being sold to generate income. Plans are underway to scale up output and transition into full commercial production. Village business units, VBUs, have the potential to transform rural communities from relying solely on subsistence farming to becoming industrialized, self-sustaining centers of production and enterprise. The establishment of 1,172 village business units, VBUs countrywide, marks a significant step in combating food insecurity and uplifting rural livelihoods. With over 600 VBUs completed and about 500 in progress, these initiatives are playing a vital role in enhancing nutrition and providing employment opportunities, showcasing the government's unwavering commitment to revitalizing previously marginalized communities. The director of Jaros Jiri Vocational Training Centers in Bulawayo, Sanile Mlauzi, said the organization is deliberately moving from a charity-based approach to one that builds capacity and independence.
First of all, thanking the President of Zimbabwe for allowing us to have such a project as Jaros Jiri. It means his mantra of saying no what? No one? No. Yes, that's the mantra that we are doing, what is actually taking care of us.
Jaros Jiri Association President Andizwitsa said the program, supported by government, will give trainees living with disabilities stronger practical skills for real economic participation and empowered lives.
It's a center that is actually trying to bring up children, bring up students who will be useful in their communities and maybe again in the economy of the country. And what happens is that both those who are able and disabled work together. And this does underscore the fact of inclusivity.
With agricultural production now boosting food security and income generation, the center hopes the business unit will become a model of inclusion, sustainability, and disability empowerment. For ZTN Prime, I'm Andile Chuma in Bulawayo.
We now have the weatherman, James Ngoma, joining us live as he gives us an update on the weather. James, good evening, and thank you so much for joining us. We are heading into the weekend. Now, considering the weather patterns that we experienced during this week, what should we be expecting?
Thank you very much, Faith, for that question, and good evening, viewers. Looking at the conditions that we had during this week, we had considerable rain at the start, but as we got towards today, which is Friday, we had sunny breaks across much of the country. This was because our systems that were coming in from the west and from the southeast were now fading over the northeastern parts of the country, covering Manicaland and Mashonaland East, where we had just light falls, less than 15 millimeters in a number of places. But looking at the weekend ahead, we're still expecting more sunny breaks in the early parts of the day. But as we get towards afternoon, we're expecting more of that cloudy conditions to drift in again from the west, giving us isolated thunder showers, especially along the main watershed. So it's going to be a sunny and warm weekend with isolated thunder showers for much of Saturday and Sunday as well.
So, James, what does this mean for the farmer?
So for the farmer, this is a perfect time to get into the field, get there early in the morning, make sure that when thunder rolls, it's always safer indoors. So by afternoon, you should have completed your work, whether it be using a tractor, whether it be using your natural instruments. Make sure that by afternoon you are already ready to go back indoors, because that's when we're expecting more of the lightning, and lightning is a threat to life. So make sure that you're always safe.
Well, James Ngoma, the chief forecaster with the Met Department, with that weather update. You are watching Newsplus. Don't go away. We'll be back shortly.
All I want this holiday
is special family time.
Whenever you come around family, you can find love.
To go on an adventure.
Tickets to every game. Some giggles.
And a puppy.
Let's go!
Yippee!
This holiday, simply stay connected and get all you want on DSTV, your home of entertainment.
Back. You are still watching Newsplus. Thank you so much for staying with us. Now, Information, Publicity and Broadcasting Services Minister Dr. Jenfan Muswere says government is impressed with high levels of production in Mashonaland West Province towards economic growth. Minister Muswere was speaking during a tour of the province where he highlighted government strategy to engage with investors for economic development.
Information, Publicity and Broadcasting Services Minister Dr. Jenfan Muswere said the tour of Mashonaland West Province has shown the high production levels the country has achieved. He was speaking during a tour of Nyabira on Thursday, where local industries, including Century Auto Assembly and Bronze Pearls Investment, which specializes in gas production, are making progress. Minister Muswere said the tours are part of the ongoing efforts by government to bolster local industrial capacity and promote economic development. He said Mashonaland West has provided immensely to the provincial economy through high production of cement harvest, among other projects.
And as we move to NDS2, this is part of the success stories in terms of the leadership that has been provided by President Mnangagwa. We've had trade deficit in terms of cement production, and we've registered about 2 more cement factories that are coming up here in Mashonaland West Province. One of the plants is in Chegutu, and you've already witnessed the production levels here at this particular plant. And we are very confident that before the end of NDS2, we have capacity to produce a lot of cement. So the cement consumption patterns have drastically increased by virtue of the level of construction activities that is taking place both industrial and for residential purposes. And this is one of the key indicators of an economy that is growing.
Mohammed Jamal, who is the owner of automotive company Century Auto Assembly and Bronzepels Investment Trading as Jamza, noted that the assembling plant will be the first in Southern Africa. He also said if completed, the gas plant will produce a minimum of 3 million kilograms per year.
Be able to produce a minimum of 1,000 vehicles per shift per month, so that's 12,000 per year. Moving up slowly with the market demands, this place we will be employing nothing less than 150 to 200 people on a single shift basis, and then gradually we will be going upwards as well. This is the first of this kind of factory in Southern Africa region, and definitely the biggest. So made in Zimbabwe, and we hope for a prosperous future for us and for everyone else.
Employees at the gas plant said they have benefited from the production as they are now earning a living. They have been spared from the drug menace which has ravaged young people. On his tour, Minister Mswere was accompanied by Minister of State for Mashonaland West Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Marion Chombo, among other senior government officials. Earlier on, Minister Chombo visited Juan Bricks and establishment in Nyabira, focusing on brick molding. This is part of government's commitment to fostering a conducive environment for business growth and improving the livelihoods of Zimbabweans. She stated that Mashonaland West has become an integral part of the country's economic growth and is known for its significant cement production.
In Magunji, so we are going to have 3 cement manufacturing plants in the country, and also we have opened David Whitehead, that is in Chegutu and Kadoma. As far as employment, it's creating a lot of jobs, almost over 500 jobs, and a lot of beneficiation that. So we can say as Mashonaland West, we have contributed a lot and benefited a lot.
A cement manufacturer, UA of Zimbabwe, Xuanjin Industry, said they have the capacity to provide more cement in the country.
We start produce this year March, okay, and our current capacity is 300,000 tons of cement, and we are going to make another mill, start to make the construction this month. We're planning to do that, and that will double our capacity.
The success story continues, where government is aiming to improve the livelihoods of Zimbabweans. This is part of the NDS1 and is now proceeding to NDS2, and as commented by the minister, the story continues. Last William was at a crime in Nyabira.
Now, William Chikoto has been confirmed as the substantive Chief Executive Officer of Zimpapers, Zimbabwe's largest integrated media group. He assumes the role after serving as acting Chief Executive Officer for 10 months, a period during which he successfully steered the organization and ensured operational stability. Chikoto's professional journey is deeply rooted in journalism. He joined Zimpapers as a junior reporter, later becoming editor of the Sunday Mail in 2001, editor of the Herald in 2009, and group editorial executive in 2012. Over the years, he has demonstrated consistent leadership and a strong commitment to editorial excellence and corporate growth. The board expresses its full confidence in Mr. Chikoro's ability to lead Zim Papers into its next stage of growth and innovation, specifically focusing on the current digital transformation of the organization. Now, in news from beyond our borders, global business leaders aired their views on the pressing challenges facing the international business community at the Business 20 B20 Summit, which wrapped up in South Africa's Johannesburg on Thursday, with discussions centering on how to build a more equitable, sustainable, and resilient system of global economic governance. Held shortly before this weekend's 20th Group of 20 G20 Summit, which will see world leaders and heads of governments converge in Johannesburg, the three-day B20 brought together hundreds of business delegates under the theme Inclusive Growth and Shared Prosperity Through Global Cooperation.
当前全球经济面临的不确定性在上升，更需要加强多边协作。B20应推动贸易顺畅、供应链稳定以及公共部门与企业的协作，共同为全球增长注入信心。我们相信，坚持开放与合作才是推动世界经济复苏的关键路径。
M23 Executive Secretary Benjamin Bomipa has urged addressing the issue of identity in the conflict following the group's Doha Framework Peace Agreement with the Democratic Republic of Congo government during a press conference in Goma on Thursday. Now, Bonimpa supported measures to protect peace and civilian well-being, including free movement, access to essential documents and services, and called for both sides to respect peace principles and work towards a non-military solution to the conflict's root causes.
L'accord de paix, l'accord cadre de Doha, énonce les principes directeurs des engagements fondamentaux que les parties doivent tenir, mais aussi les mécanismes de renforcement des acquis. Vous allez vous demander quels sont ces acquis. Le premier acquis, c'était le cessez-le-feu. Nous avions obtenu un cessez-le-feu, signé et parrainé par les États-Unis, les Qatar et tous les facilitateurs. Mais aussi, cette stabilisation, vous avez vu que les fronts n'ont pas avancé. Parce qu'il y avait cet entendement-là de sauvegarder et protéger cet acquis qui est le cessez-le-feu.
Youth groups and local volunteers in Sudan's El Fasher region have launched a large-scale campaign to restore public facilities and essential services among worsening humanitarian conditions caused by the recent conflict. Now, on October 26th, the Rapid Support Forces announced that they'd seized full control of El Fasher after a long siege and fierce battles with the Sudanese army. Still now, look at news from around the world. A powerful 5.7 magnitude earthquake jolted central Bangladesh on Friday morning, resulting in at least 6 confirmed fatalities, over 250 injuries, and significant damage to buildings and infrastructure. The quake sent panicked residents fleeing in the streets of the densely populated capital of Dhaka. The tremor struck at 10:38 a.m. local time. Its shallow epicenter located near the Madabi area in Naskdit district, about 33 kilometers from the city of Dhaka. The quake's shallow depth of 10 kilometers amplified its destructive force, with strong shaking felt for about 26 seconds. And now we take a look at some business news.
Harare, tune into the beat.
Capitalk 100.4 FM, your source for news, business, sports, fashion, and more.
Experience the pulse of Harare's culture and lifestyle.
Capitalk 100.4 FM, Harare's top radio station.
Join the conversation with Zimbabwe's top personalities.
Subscribe now for fresh and infotainment content daily.
Capital 100.4 FM, Harare's heartbeat.
In our look at business news tonight, the Rural and Infrastructure Development Agency, RIDA, Falcon Air, made its maiden flight between Harare and Beitbridge, marking a significant milestone in Zimbabwe's aviation industry. The plane that took 1 hour 30 minutes between Harare and Beitbridge landed in Beitbridge at 10:15 a.m. Among the delegates in the flight were Dr. Michael Msanjika, the acting Deputy Chief Secretary, the RIDA Director General, Mr. Christopher Shumba, and other senior government officials and customs officials. The airline will operate regular weekly flights between the two towns, enhancing connectivity and promoting economic growth. Now, this development is expected to boost trade, tourism, and business activities between Harare and Beitbridge, contributing to the country's economic development. Listed financial services provider First Capital Bank has signed a share purchase agreement with ASB Hospitality LLC for its shareholding in hotel operator Makasa Sun Private Limited. This marks another strategic expansion into Zimbabwe's tourism industry by the United Arab Emirates-based Emirates ASB Hospitality, following its 2019 acquisition of the iconic Mikos Hotel in Harare, which has since rebranded as Hyatt Regency Harare, the Mikos. Now, the Kingdom Hotel, one of Victoria Falls' most spectacular properties, closed early 2023 following a lease dispute with the former operator Africa Sun Limited. The landmark is now expected to reopen under a new brand and after its acquisition is completed. Still in business, the Buy Zimbabwe company has applauded the positive strides being made by the government, industry, and local producers in strengthening Zimbabwe's local content value chains. In a statement, Buy Zimbabwe chairperson Mr. Munyaradzi Wengwere said the combined efforts of public and private sector players continue to accelerate industrialization, drive job creation, and foster greater economic self-reliance. Following the official commissioning of the Katrek Processor's new tobacco processing plant in Harare on Wednesday, Buy Zimbabwe says this is a powerful testament to the country's growing manufacturing capacity and the commitment of local industry to value addition. And now a quick look at what's happening on the entertainment front. Now, Zimbabwe's Leshanda Moyes had an impressive showing at the just-ended Miss Universe 2025 pageant after she exited the competition in the top 30. She was one of the 3 Africans who earned a spot. Now, Tafazwa Moyes caught up with the Zimbabwean beauty queen after the show as she expressed her gratitude for the support that she received throughout the competition period.
I'm so honored and so grateful for the love and support you showed me, and as Zimbabweans, we were unified and we band together, and let's just keep that fire burning. Let's keep the oneness, let's keep the love, whatever it is, whether it's sports, whether it's art, whether it's beauty pageant, we support our own.
The finale ended in Thailand this morning with Mexico's Fatima Bosch bagging the crown. Miss Thailand was declared the first runner-up, while Miss Venezuela was named the second runner-up. Miss Philippines was announced as the third runner-up and Miss Cote d'Ivoire as the fourth. Now, Blao's dance scene is about to heat up as the Inferno dance competition prepares to showcase young talent on December the 6th. Organizers say that the event will give up and coming dancers a platform to ignite their flame, with the venue to be announced soon. Now, this competition is inspired by the belief that every dancer carries an inner fire. The Inferno is set to become an annual highlight on Zimbabwe's dance calendar, establishing itself as one of the country's premier showcases for raw talent, creativity, and performance excellence. And now for some sporting action.
They call me Racer X, or in this case, Racer J. All right.
Put your seatbelt on.
In a look at some sporting action this evening, the 2025 Castle Lager Premier Soccer League concludes this weekend with the relegation battle taking center stage. The fate of the 3 teams that will join Kwekwe United in going down will be decided across with 5 matches on Sunday. Greenfield face off with Triangle at the Greenfield Arena in Chisumbanje. Chicken Inn clash with Highlanders at Barber Fields. Manika Diamonds come up against Bikita Minerals at Sakuba. Zimbabwe welcome Yada to Wadzanai in Shamba, and Dynamos take on FC Platinum at Rufaro. But before that, their final round of action begins on Saturday, with champions-elect Scotland facing off with Tel 1. The match plus the trophy presentation ceremony will be live here on ZTN Prime. Now, Moors versus Ngezi Platinum Stars and Rentals versus ZPC Kariba are Saturday's other matches. Still in sport, Dynamo's head coach Kelvin Kayindu is confident his side can finish the season strong and secure their PSL status.
Quite an interesting league for you to get to the last game and probably not sure who is going down. That shows how competitive the league was this season. But we want to give credit, I think, to the team for us to be in the position where we are today. I think we have worked extremely hard for us to move from the position where we were when we joined the team, and I think we are remaining with the last game that probably cast the dice for us to decide our fate. We want to maintain probably the run that we have enjoyed in the season, and we don't want to dwell on whatever regulations or probably the statutes that are going to be amended. We want to win for ourselves. I think what is most important is the ability for us to be consistent. We have been picking points from the time that we started, and we just hope that even on the last game we are playing a team that is very organized, former champions. I think they know how it feels to be champions. For us to play Platinum in the last game, it shows that the intensity is going to be high, but we want to believe in the confidence that we have raised, and also just we remain consistent, and it will be easier for us to get points on our own than to wait on what has been amended.
Now, despite going up against an unpredictable FC Platinum, Kayindu hopes to end the season on a high by extending their unbeaten run to 15 games.
Yeah, I think if you can see even the enjoyment in the session and also the competition that we have, we want to maintain, hopefully we maintain our record and finish without a defeat. But like I said, we are playing Platinum that is quite organized. They play good football, but playing at home and also with the conditions that are there, we don't know how it's going to be on Sunday, but we just hope for the best on Sunday.
Now, Cynthia Shonga nearly quit football in 2024 due to financial struggles. But after returning home and joining Rentals Queens a year later, she regained her form, won the league, and re-earned her national team spot. Let's get more in this report.
When Cynthia Shonga opened up in 2024 about the emotional and financial struggles pushing her towards quitting football, she spoke like someone standing at a painful crossroads. The Mighty Warriors goalkeeper, once a rising star, seemingly destined for greatness, found herself questioning her future in the sport she loved. A year later, Shonga has risen again. She has reclaimed her best form, guiding her Rentals to their 4th consecutive league title and earning her way back into the Mighty Warriors setup.
I'm very happy. I was
Not only did she reclaim the confidence that once made her Zimbabwe's most promising shot stopper, but she grew into a central pillar of the Rentals project. Today, she stands not only as the club's first choice goalkeeper, but as an emblem of what determination can yield when matched with opportunity.
I'm very excited. Church nasingarekete ndingoti ndingoti namwari kuti ndakapinda mune zvakawanda zvanganda vakausiya but ndinotenda mwari vakaitiwo vakakwanisa kuona simu dzavo kuti ndisakwanisa kusiya ndikuenderere mberi nechipo changu.
Shunga now stands transformed, focused, and aiming higher than ever. No longer held back by the doubts that once clouded her path, she now chases the stars with unwavering focus, relentless to honor the second chance football is given her.
Angotosera kugadzira life libora patsongoendawo mberi ngokudawo muno muzimbabwe unotambirawo ngewenyika shiro yakangonakawo kuti unotambirawo nanairobho shiro yakanaka ine ndotasiro yangu asi nenchanzi yankoshera kuti ndichaedza nepandogona nditozama kukwanisa ngopinda ende bhora handisi kuzoziya bhora handisi kuziya ndikuramba ndichienda naro mberi kusvika ndasvika kwatichii.
If this is what she can do with the second chance, then the heights she can reach from here are only limited by how high she dares to imagine. Her comeback is complete, but her story is only just beginning. Reporting for ZTN Prime.
Now, in an effort to give every talent a chance, as well as revive grassroots football, Bade housed Power Academy held an under-17 tournament that saw over 16 teams competing for honours. Power Academy team manager Charles Chiwocha emphasizes that schools form the foundation of talent development, and the academy will continue strengthening these partnerships as they aim to identify and nurture young prospects early, provide structured training, and create clear pathways for gifted players to progress from grassroots football to professional levels.
Takatarisa tournament yakatikoshera zvakanyanya maringe nekuti tikateerera kana pachirongwa chenhau dzebhora mukati menyika yedu pari kunzi junior development yafa, so tiri kuda kuzama nepose patinogona kuti tidzosere junior development tichisenzawo nemaschools like panapa tine vamawani tiri paschool inonzi Narira primary school, tine vana vatorimo muground imomo vanodzidza zvakare panapa, then tine another school inonzi Axton yakakwanisa kupawo vana vedu mascholarships tichisimudzira iro bhora remuno revana vadiki.
Now, the tournament serves as a far greater purpose than competition alone. It becomes a crucial scouting ground where coaches can closely assess emerging talent, measure player readiness, and identify future national prospects. For the players, it offers a rare and invaluable stage to showcase their abilities, gain meaningful game time, and earn selection for bigger opportunities.
Donzo redu rimwe ratinaro nderekuti pamaplay edu ari kutamba esaya pamateams ese tine rombo rakanaka kuti technical director from ZIFA vakatipawo task yekuti tikwanise kumobilize vakomana ivava tingangotora 4 per team yega yega yaparticipata kana 3 kuti vazoassembla the coming week vazoonekwa na-technical director vakwanise kubuilda squad under 15 from this tournament, so it's a good exposure.
Now, in cricket, Chevron's T20 captain Skandar Raza has heaped praise on his bowling attack after they powered Zimbabwe to an emphatic 67-run win over Sri Lanka in the ongoing T20 International Triangular Series, which also features Pakistan. Brad Evans led the way with an impressive 3 for 9, while left-arm seamer Richard Ngarawa contributed with 2 for 15. Raza gave credit to Ngarawa for leading the bowling attack.
The extra motivation is nice, WTC as you spoke about, but the fact that we have played 10 test matches this year, so that has helped into understanding the game and getting better as well, and this is the first year where Zimbabwe calendar have looked really busy. So these sort of results, tells you that the process Zimbabwe cricket is following is certainly starting to give those rewards that one look for.
And with that, we conclude this Friday Bulletin. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Faith Nyaude. Here's to hoping you do have an incredible weekend. Good evening and enjoy the rest of your viewing.